What up, guys? Today I'm gonna run a couple examples of melody samples and show you guys which 808s to use in different contexts. Let's get it. Alright, so before we get into the video, just want to shout out the 808s I'm gonna be using are coming from both of my personal 808 ARMORY kits. Okay, so I just pulled up 3 samples from some of my kits, 3 different tempos, and 3 different keys. Figure out which 808s are going to go with which melody, and that sounds like this. Okay, so let's turn that click track off, and we're at 130 BPM, and let's run some 2-step drums. Now we're going to dive into the main topic, 808s. First off, I've told you guys this before, but this is the way you want your quick sampler set up to look if you're bringing in 808s into Logic. First off, you want this polyphony, drag that up to mono, and you want to set this bottom right square to ADSR, and make it shaped like this, where it squares off at the end. And then I just drag an 808 into the original mode, maybe mess with the volume here, but then you're pretty much good to go. So let's start trying out different types of 808s. Okay, so there is that gated sound, but underneath is just a steady current of chords. So what I want to do off rip is pull up a short 808 to contrast that drawn out melody, and the 808 will stand out more. Go to the short 808s in the ARMORY V2, and let's try some Zays maybe. Gotta get a little pattern. So this is D sharp minor, easy enough. Let's try some different alternate Zay style 808s. That'll work. Okay, so as you can see, it's a pretty short 808 we ended up with, and I'll isolate that. It's just gonna sound like this. Got some cool high end and nice punchiness, so that contrasts and blends perfectly with that drawn out melody. Alright, so now let's jump into this second sample. So that's going to be in a faster tempo. We're going from 130 to 153. So now I'm just going to change the whole project tempo, and it's going to stretch that current sample right on time and the other one's out of time, which is fine because we can change those. It's a perfect 8 bars. Let's get a 2-step and then figure out some 808s. Yeah, let's just keep the drums that simple. And now we can dive into an 808. Lots of drawn out sounds like sustained strings. So again, I want to contrast that with probably a shorter 808. The reason I don't pick a longer one for this is because with the drawn out melody and a drawn out 808, it runs the risk of starting to sound muddy when it mixes together. Try something like this. Sauce it up a little bit. Yeah, so this is basically a juiced up short spinz 808. You hear a lot of spinz 808s because they adapt to a ton of different styles of beats. So I'll just run this from the top. That takes care of that more up-tempo beat. The last loop we have, it's 123 BPM and D minor. So this is the slowest sample we're gonna mess with. And I'm actually gonna fill out the drums a little bit more for this loop. Just touch up this pattern real quick. let's get into an 808. Let's find an 808 that's gonna work for this last sample. Now let's load an 808 into that channel. I like that one the best. Here's that fleshed out 808 pattern for that last sample. That'll take care of the 808 demo for these different types of samples. Thanks for watching. Remember to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next week for more videos. Peace.